So Angelica is feeling left out and complains to her doll Cynthia, saying, "Everything's always feeling nil, feeling nil, feeling nil. It's not fair. If only there was some way I could break them apart." Then we see Phil and Lil in the kitchen, and their dad gives them a cookie. They continue to argue over who's got the bigger cookie. Angelica says that she would help them out. She grabs both the cookies and takes a bite out of Lil's and says, "Phil has the bigger cookie." And Lil says, "But that's not fair." So Angelica takes a bite out of Lil's and then says, "There, now Lil's got the bigger cookie." And Phil says, "But that's not fair either." And Angelica says, "Okay." And she eats both the cookies. And she says, "There you go. Now you're even." And they say, "But we still don't know who the favourite is." And Angelica says, "Yes, well, I guess that is a problem." Angelica then says, "Why don't you guys play with the telephone?" And Phil says, "But Angelica, we're not supposed to play with the hello phone." And Angelica says, "Exactly. When your mummy and daddy see you playing with the telephone, something you're not allowed to play with, they will get really mad." And who do you think they're going to get mad at? And Phil and Lil say both together, "The favourite." And they go off to play with the telephone. They play with the telephone and push random buttons. And then Angelica goes running into the kitchen and tells their parents what has happened. Betty goes into the room where Phil and Lil are. She puts the receiver back on the phone, and then puts the phone back where it belongs. And Angelica says, "Aren't you going to tell the babies off?" And she says, "No, they're just babies. They didn't know what they were doing. Now you run along and play, Angel." Phil then says, "Neither one of us got in trouble." And Lil says, "Yes, so that must mean we're both the favourite. Come on, let's go play." And Lil runs off to play.